Hi, I'm D&D. Welcome to my video. This is the Bramble Berry Sea Salt Swirl Soap project, and I'm using the green chrome oxide pigment. The recipe calls for using the hydrated chrome green pigment, and so that creates a little bit more of a turquoise color. I was looking for a little bit more of a sea glass green, soap. So sea glass, if you've ever seen it, I don't see it very often anymore, but when I was younger, we would walk along the beach and pick up the sea glass, and it would be different colors. It would be like a light green, a light blue, sometimes a light amber color. And so I just remember that from my childhood, and when I saw the recipe, I said, oh, I gotta make this, but I wanted to make it with the light green color. And for the fragrance, we're gonna use Bramble Berry's Frosted Sea Glass, and we're gonna use, of course, sea salt, but for this one we're using the Himalayan pink sea salt, so I'm using that. And it's a medium grain. You can use a smaller grain if you want to, but it calls for medium grain to get that nice exfoliation from your skin. Okay, so I have my white titanium dioxide ready, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of the sweet almond oil as a light oil carrier for mixing this particular color so that we can incorporate that into the soap after. And there it goes. You can put any kind of light type of oil to mix this with. It doesn't have to be almond oil. Okay, so these are ready. It'll be interesting to see how this turns out. Okay, and we've got the white ready to go. So we're good on that. I've already pre-measured the pink Himalayan sea salt. So I have all that ready to go. And so this is about 15 ounces of sea salt, and then I've got the topping ready. I added a little bit of the himalayan sea clay to it, just to give it a little different look. So you see there's some little bit darker bits of sea salt in there. So I'm going to add in the argan oil, some of the smaller oils first. I'm going to put these coconut bags into the microwave. They're really good for putting these into the microwave with the cover on, and it melts this, because right now it's soft, but it's not a liquid. So we need to put this in the microwave. We're going to measure out the other oils. I've got this beautiful argan oil. Got the Bramble Berry. They have everything for their projects, so their lists of projects, and then they have the oils that you need. You just have to order it from them directly, or you can order them, through anywhere that you'd like to, but they make it easy. So I need 1.5 ounces. This beautiful olive oil is next, and we need only 3 ounces of this. Okay, so that's perfect. So now you can see the coconut oil is now clear and ready to go in. It just takes a little microwaving and it's perfectly all set to go. Okay, so now we have the oils are all set and ready to go. We're going to use this wonderful Frosted Sea Glass fragrance from Bramble Berry. Okay, so I have our fragrance oil all set to go. Okay, so my oils are below the 130 degrees. They're at 110, and the lye water is at 117. So they're within 10 degrees of each other, so we can go ahead and mix them together. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the lye down the shaft. The reason why we pour it down the shaft is because this way it doesn't directly hit the oil and cause maybe a reaction that we don't want. So carefully pour it down the shaft. There we go. So I'm looking for a light trace. So this is a nice light trace. We're going to go with this, and we're going to add the fragrance to the batter. So here's the fragrance. Gonna just pour it in, whisk that in there. Okay, so let's split this in two. Pour it in here. we probably should have added the salt. You know, that's okay. We're gonna add half into here. So we're gonna do half into each one. You can incorporate the white one. This fragrance actually reminds me of Cape Cod. I don't know why, but we would go to Cape Cod. My mom would take us all over, you know, different types of parks and things like that, but we'd go to Cape Cod and it was so much fun. I was just a little girl, and it would be in the evenings, and we would go ahead and walk along the beach, and my mom would have us look for clams, and you know, they would bubble up on the sand, and we would dig for them, and I put them in my little plastic bucket. I think I was probably about 4, maybe 5, probably 5 at the time, and it was a lot of fun. I remember my mom saying, you know, watch out for the razor clams, and I was like, oh no, you know, razor clams. So sure enough, wouldn't you know it, I ended up picking up a razor clam. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They are these long clams that are kind of sharp on the edges, and so I saw the bubble up, you know, from after the wave receded, saw the bubbling up, thought it was a regular clam, dug it up, and I looked in my hand, and my hand was kind of, I could feel these sharp edges on it, and I was, oh my gosh, and I kind of screamed, and I threw the poor little thing out into the ocean. I was like, oh no. And so it went flying into the ocean and screamed, and my mom came running over. It was like, but I was fine. I didn't have any cuts on me, but I'll never forget it, you know. So a lot of fun times at the beach. So we got the white, and then I'm just gonna use this to incorporate the green. I want to work a little faster now because it's going to start getting thick. Once you get that salt in there, it really accelerates the soap sponification process, and along with the fragrance and sometimes the color, but it looks really good. The sea salt is suspending very nicely on both of the colors. It really smells nice, so I'm excited about this one. I have our topping here. We've got our molds ready to go, and pour these together. Move it over so you can see. So I'm going to do like I did before, like a kind of a swirly thing, and I'm just leaving a little room there. I'm gonna have to stir it up, make sure the salt gets incorporated in. It's not suspending quite yet because it's still a little bit runny, right? So I want to make sure we've got this nice salt in there. Okay, so you can see that I've cleaned up my mess. It looks much better. Just wanted to work through with it. I filled them in. I had extras. It was overfilled, so I took out the extra and I put them into, you know, the cube tray. I had actually 2 more soaps that I could make out of it, so I put those into the cube tray. And I have already started, because the soap was forming fairly quickly, I went ahead and started with the other 6. I'm putting the toppings, so finishing up the toppings on these. Just putting a little bit of that pink sea salt on top. And as I said before, I've included some of the Alea sea salt as well. And I don't know if I mentioned before, but that sea salt has clay, and that's what makes it red. So it's got this beautiful clay that's incorporated into the salt. So it'll make for nice color for the salt. The smell is really nice. Now that it's blended in more, I can kind of smell it coming from the soap, and think that it smells really good. I think that once they cure, it'll be a nice soft smell. So I'm going to put a little bit of the snowflake mica on the top to give it a nice little shimmery look to it. Yeah, and so that is it. So here they are, and going to let them set for a few days. And so far they look pretty good. They have a nice little swirl pattern. The color kind of stayed. Oh, and I almost forgot. We can't forget our 99% spraying alcohol to make sure we don't get any soda ash on the soap. So I'm gonna spray a nice little spray, keep that soda ash from occurring, and now we are done. So couldn't forget that step. I molded these after the first day, after 24 hours, and you could see the bottom, you know, didn't unmold very well. It's a little, you know, jagged a little bit where it wasn't quite formed yet. And so these are just some test ones that I did, but these were the little cubed ones. This one has the seaweed salt topping, and so you can see that a little bit. And then I molded out also the second cube one, which was the pink sea salt on top, the Himalayan salt. It left soap, you know, inside the mold here, so had to wait a few days for my circular ones. And so you can see they form nicely. I think they're gonna pop out without a problem. We're gonna find out. Okay, so put these over here, and go ahead and, so we're just kind of breaking the seal by pulling on it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of breaking the seal, making it easier to unmold them. And then I'm going to just press on the bottom to have them release from the bottom area, where that's the part that might stick. So look at that. Okay, so we got a nice smooth unmolding. And there's a swirl on the bottom. You can see the pink sea salt right here. It's smooth right now, but when you use it, it will, the soap bubbles will emerge, and then you'll be able to use the salt to exfoliate your skin. It's very nice. They're just gonna unmold very nicely. Because it's been a few days, I want to make sure they were gonna come out good. So I'm really happy with the color too. Like, the color is really pretty. It looks like sea glass to me. And the little swirls on top, because the soap was forming, so it was nice and thick, and I could make like a little design on top with the sea salt as well. But I love the cream color with this seagrass green. It has the seagrass fragrance from Bramble Berry. It's very soft. It is very refreshing. I love it. It's perfect for this bar. They're just popping out, no problem. And no soda ash, which was really nice, so that was good. So we have to wait 4 to 6 weeks, or even longer with salt bars. These are actually a little heavy because of the salt content. It's kind of cool. And I love the way that exfoliates too. Okay, so this recipe was from Bramble Berry. It's the sea salt swirl soap. It has beautiful oil in it. It has the coconut oil, argan oil, olive oil, all kinds of great oils for your, you know, for a soap. And also, the fragrance was from Bramble Berry, as I mentioned before, the sea glass fragrance oil. It's different than the other ones that I did with the pink sea salt. The difference is this one has the more, I say expensive it is, it's more expensive argan oil, and it has that nourishing type of olive oil too. And this is going to have a great lather because of the coconut oil. It's mostly made of coconut oil. you know, for that lather, which is perfect for a salt soap. It also has in it the sea clay mixed in with the green color. And so that's really nice to have as well. Helps to absorb some of the excess oil from the skin, and the white is from the titanium dioxide. So this is all natural kind of soap. It doesn't have any palm oil in it, which is really wonderful because, you know, we're trying to be more environmentally friendly. So no palm oil is needed, mostly because of the salt. So the salt creates a nice hard bar. If you liked these sea salt bars, please click like on the video and subscribe, okay? Thanks.